Hello, and thank you for your interest in the Prince William Parkway and Old Bridge Road area STAR study in Prince William County. This study was undertaken as part of VDOT's Strategically Targeted and Affordable Roadway Solutions Program, also known as the STARS program. And this is the main public outreach meeting to gain input and feedback on study area issues and possible alternatives. The study and outreach are a joint effort of both VDOT and Prince William County. This is an outline of what we will be discussing during this presentation. We will have a brief overview of the STAR study process and discuss existing traffic and safety conditions. Next, we will explain the progress of the study team thus far in developing alternatives and possible solutions. Then we will discuss the different alternatives that are currently under consideration by the study team, as well as the operations and safety benefits of each alternative. We will wrap up the presentation with the next steps, including how you can provide feedback on the alternatives and other areas that should be addressed as part of the study. STARS is an acronym for Strategically Targeted and Affordable Roadway Solutions. The STARS program is sponsored by VDOT and designed to take a multidisciplinary and data-driven approach to developing alternatives to relieve congestion and solve critical safety needs. The goals of the program are to build diverse stakeholders groups that come together and identify those projects that can be successfully funded and implemented to solve those transportation issues. Stakeholder groups are typically comprised of representatives from local governments, planning organizations, VDOT, and a consultant support team. The purpose of this study is to evaluate safety and operational conditions in the area, including and surrounded by the intersection of Prince William Parkway and Old Bridge Road, and to consider and evaluate potential improvements to enhance safety and operations. Cost estimates will also be prepared for the alternatives under consideration to determine the amount of funding needed to implement the improvements. We want to emphasize that improvements identified as part of the study have yet to be funded at this time. The study area consists of Prince William Parkway from Ridgewood Center Drive and Laurel's Hill Drive to Kenwood Drive and Jenkins Elementary School, as well as Old Bridge Road from Prince William Parkway to Touchstone Circle and Titania Way. This area includes the 5 signalized intersections, 2 unsignalized intersections or stop controlled, and 5 driveways. The study area encompasses approximately 1 mile of roadway, and the different intersection approaches within the roadway carry between 35,000 and 50,000 vehicles per day. Prince William Parkway has a 45-mile-per-hour speed limit and 6 travel lanes with 3 in each direction. Old Bridge Road has a speed limit of 45 miles per hour and generally 4 travel lanes with 2 in each direction. Photos on these slides will display critical views of approaches and study area locations. The study area also contains several accommodations for pedestrians and bicycles. There are sidewalk and multi-use path facilities paralleling both major roadways, and all signalized intersections have crossings of at least 2 approaches to allow for pedestrians to get from one side of the other to major routes. There are also several locations where OmniRide bus stops are present for transit connectivity. To assess safety conditions along the corridor, the study team reviewed crash data for the 5-year period from 2014 to 2019. A total of 321 crashes occurred within the study area, including 106 crashes that resulted in injuries. Of the total crashes, 62 occurred at or in the vicinity of the intersection of Prince William Parkway and Old Bridge Road. The charts included show that the majority of crashes in the study area are rear-end or angle-type collisions, and the majority occurred during daylight or lit conditions. This figure shows the number of crashes which occurred over the course of the 5-year period at each intersection along the corridor. Prince William Parkway and Old Bridge Road has the highest concentration of crash activity. There are also high crash numbers at Black Forest Lane and Reed's Prospect Drive, as well as Laurel Hill Drive and Ridgewood Center Drive, that are primarily due to eastbound congestion during the morning peak hours. This figure shows greater detail and mapping of the crashes at Prince William Parkway and Old Bridge Road. Diagrams such as these are what the study team utilizes to determine where key locations for safety improvements are needed. The chart gives information on crash type, date, lighting, and pavement conditions. This slide gives information about the current operational conditions as measured by delay of individual approaches and level of service. These results are representative of Prince William Parkway and Old Bridge Road, utilizing current signal time and phasing allocations and optimize future timings. From the graphics and information, we can see that there are very high delays and extensive queuing during the peak periods on most approaches. This has resulted in a very low level of service of F for many movements. With the current phasing and demand, no approach receives more than 35% of available time. As of this presentation, the study has made steady progress through the collaboration of the full team. Existing conditions have been fully analyzed under current signal timing and phasing, and future growth and traffic forecasting has been performed. The study team has screened several alternatives to determine those that are most viable to bring to the public for consideration, and those options have had preliminary cost estimates and sketches developed. Currently, these improvements focus on the intersection of Prince William Parkway and Old Bridge Road. Additional minor improvements may be recommended at other high crash locations after further consideration by the study team. There are several corridor-wide improvements that have been identified that include upgrades to signal displays, signal phasing, signal operational improvements, and low-cost safety improvements such as high visibility backplates and pedestrian equipment upgrades. These improvements may move forward during maintenance activities or when other funding sources are available and are be considered at all intersections within the study area. A summary of the alternatives for the main intersection of Prince William Parkway and Old Bridge Road that the team is asking for the public to provide input on is shown on this slide. A no-build alternative would mean no significant changes to the intersection would be made, and all approaches and travel paths would remain as they are today. Only minor improvements, such as those described in the previous slide, would be made. The additional improvements will be discussed in greater detail in the slides that follow. This slide shows the current concept and rendering of a standard or conventional T intersection. The intersection would be reconstructed and relocated from its current configuration such that Prince William Parkway would become the through movement in a northwest-southeast direction, and Old Bridge would be connected as close to perpendicular as possible, or T'd in. The approach to Touchstone Circle would become a right-in, right-out access point on Old Bridge Road. This slide shows the current concept and configuration of the through-cut alternative. Named a through-cut, as the through movements across the intersection to and from Prince William Parkway and Touchstone Circle would be restricted to allow for both left turns to move simultaneously. This would remove a full signal phase and allow more green time to be reallocated to all approaches. As part of this concept, the eastbound approach of Prince William Parkway would also be expanded to allow for dual right turn lane capacity. All other movements would remain as they are today. This slide addresses examples of possible grade-separated alternatives. Current options include flyovers, underpasses, or other separations such as an echelon-type interchange. While the exact configuration is not yet determined, the goal would be to allow Prince William Parkway to be a free-flow movement. This slide displays the operational analysis results of each alternative under both current and future traffic levels, as well as the most recent planning level cost estimates. The conventional or standard T is referred to as Alternative 1, the through cut is referred to as Alternative 2, and grade separation is referred to as Alternative 3. As the configuration of a grade separation is to be determined, operational results are not currently available for that scenario at this time. The next steps on the study start with you. The MetroQuest survey to allow for public input on issues and priorities within the study area, as well as on the current alternatives, will be open from June 29th to July 17th and is available via hyperlink on the study website at www.virginiadot.org/Prince William Parkway at Old Bridge Road Study. We encourage you to give as much input and feedback as possible. Your comments and suggestions help guide the decisions of the study team on what alternatives should be selected for future funding pursuits, such as Smart Scale or NVTA, and features of those alternatives that should be revised or reconsidered. It is expected an application for statewide smart-scale funding will be submitted by Prince William County in August of 2020, and that the finalized study documents and report will be publicly available on the study website by September of 2020. Again, thank you for taking the time to view our presentation of the Prince William Parkway and Old Bridge Road STAR study. You may find more information about the study, including a downloadable PDF file of these presentation slides, on the project website. Please don't forget to fill out the survey, as your feedback and responses to the questions are very important to us. If you do not wish to take the survey but still wish to submit comments, you may do so via email at meetingcomments@vdot.virginia.gov.